It is a crazy time in the world of sports, right? March Madness Selection Sunday, when we find out which teams are in the big dance. That is this Sunday. The Masters Golf Tournament coming up, NFL Draft. We're not going to get to everything, but we're going to get to a lot. I can't wait to talk with Amy Siegfried, who hosts a Tulsa-based podcast with her brother called Last Night's Game. Amy, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You also send out a newsletter.
Yes.
Tell us more about the podcast, more of what you do on Last Night's Game.
So Last Night's Game was inspired by, I used to work in Major League Baseball, and I was at a game with one of my girlfriends, and the guys are running off the field, and she said, "What are they doing?" And I said, "They have 3 outs." And she said, "Well, what's an out?" And I realized that she just didn't have the idea what was going on in sports, which is fine, but she worked in this male-dominated industry, and I really wanted to be able to put something together for people like her, and myself too, that really has a chance to keep you up to date on sports and what happens in the world of sports from a human interest side, not necessarily the box score.
Yeah, I love that. And some of you, I should say, you should recognize Amy from the 4 p.m. You were on there as well. Some of our viewers will recognize you. And I wanted to just talk about, again, for folks maybe who don't know, ORU men's basketball team, really good this year. OU women, really good. What are the best Oklahoma-based teams, the best chances of making the big tournament?
Well, so ORU, from all the projections I've seen, are in. They're in for the men's tournament. Really, everybody else for men's and women's, they're going to have to win their Big 12 championship this week. So it's a crapshoot. I do see that on the men's side, OSU has a chance. There's sort of that maybe they'll make it in, but it's March Madness, so you never know. But really, truly, for the men's and the women's, they're all going to have to win their tournament to make it in.
And for folks at home who maybe don't know, it's like, well, you know, some of these teams are really good. Why do they have to win? I mean, there's only 60-some spots, and that sounds like a lot, but it's really not.
And you have to remember, we think about the SEC and the Big 12 and these big conferences, but there's also a lot of smaller conferences that get a chance to play. So that, when you think about that, there's 60-something spots, but they're really taken up by a lot of other teams that maybe you may have not ever heard of, and those are those dark horses, those Cinderella stories that we all love to pick in our brackets.
I do want to talk about brackets, Amy, because let's talk about this. So I hear this a lot. Folks are like, well, I'm not really into basketball. I don't know the teams. I'm not going to do a bracket. You should do a bracket, especially if there's a prize involved.
Absolutely, it's fun. Why not? It's something to do with your colleagues, with your friends. You don't have to know anything. The chances of you picking a perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion, which is a number we never learned in school.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Quintillion?
It's a number we never learned in school because it's a massive number. There's no chance. No one's ever picked a perfect bracket. There are so many ways to pick a bracket, whether it's jersey colors, there's an autofill button now on most things, so you can just, if you don't have time to research, you can say, you know what, I like this sports writer's bracket, push the button, you're done. That's
amazing. So is it serious? Because you see all these, you know, you did the research, you see all these contests. Well, $1 million for a perfect bracket. It never, literally, never happens.
No.
Okay. I want to do some trivia, Amy.
Okay.
So guide me through the trivia here. This is for, again, the podcast. A lot of folks may not know about sports. We're just going to have some fun. So let's do the trivia here.
Okay. Which one of these things is more likely to happen to you versus picking a bracket? I may have spoiled this one already. Being struck by a meteor, winning the Powerball jackpot, being injured by a vending machine, none of the above, or all of the above?
I'm going to go with all of the above.
Yes, and who knew vending machines were dangerous, but apparently they are. So
the meteorite thing, that shocks me. So more likely to get hit by a meteorite than to pick a perfect bracket.
That's right, that's right. So true or false, March Madness is the most popular sporting event to bet on?
I want to say true because there's so many games.
There are, but it's false because more money is spent on the Super Bowl, betting in the Super Bowl, than there is March Madness.
And of course, people may not know, sports betting not legal in Oklahoma. It's kind of making its way through the legislature, so who knows? Someday, all those commercials about betting online, you can't do that here.
Not yet, not yet. This is a good one when picking your bracket. The winning team in the men's tournament is most likely to be wearing what color jersey? Red, blue, green, or maroon?
What? Red?
Red. Actually, it's blue. In the past 20 years, with an exception of 2 teams, the winning team has had a predominantly blue uniform.
I love this. I could keep going for like 15 questions. We have time for one more question.
Okay.
Here we go.
True or false? When choosing your bracket, this single elimination tournament is the most likely upset is a 12 over a 5.
So if you don't know, it's 116, it's 215, and all the seeding goes. So you're saying 12-5. I always just think it's 8-9 because the 9 could easily win. I'm going to say false.
Well, it's the most likely upset is a 12 or a 5 with that one.
Really?
Now remember when picking your bracket though, a number 1 team has only lost to a number 16 team once in history. So don't get wild and use that as your big upset to make yourself different than other brackets.
12-5. If we're playing the numbers, the 12-5 is what we want to do. Well, Amy, that was fun. Stick around. Coming up at 9:30, I'm seeing Leanne over there. She was playing along with trivia. We're going to do this or that, the kind of game you've seen on Instagram. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay, so Amy will be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back. Well, we want to have some more fun with Amy Siegfried now. Podcaster, speaker, we saw you 15 minutes ago. Amy, let's do another segment here.
Okay, we're going to call this, it's called This or That. And I've seen this around on social media and stuff, so we'll let you take it away.
Okay, so basically your choice is you pick one or the other. There's
Okay.
no right or wrong answer. So just your preference.
Okay, kind of like an icebreaker, like get to know you personality thing.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, summer or winter?
I'm going to go winter.
Winter.
Winter, okay. Well, I would have picked summer, but you know, hey, we live in Tulsa, so it's all a little bit everything. Watch the game at home or in person?
I'm a homebody right now.
Me too. We didn't go to a lot of sporting events growing up. I'm a home sports watcher.
There's something nice about being able to have your own snacks in your own bathroom, so I get that.
Yeah, it's HD, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Would you prefer to be a cheerleader or a mascot?
Mascot. Totally
Oh,
the
mascot all the way. I got my helmet on. Nobody knows
God.
who I am.
You got your clap down.
I'm just going wild.
You and I are like, we're like syncing here. This is weird, because I really did think we would be complete opposites.
And you, cheerleader or mascot, Amy?
Oh gosh, I remember working with mascots and they have a lot of energy. I'm not sure I don't have to drink enough Red Bull for that, I don't think. Pick a bracket or not pick a bracket?
Oh, pick a bracket.
Usually, but I don't know if I am this year, but I think I'll go with your bracket because you already got it.
We have a bracket.
Figured out.
Join us. We'll do men's and women's, and it'll be a lot of fun. You can autofill, so we won't judge if you hit that button.
Perfect. Love it.
Red uniforms or blue uniforms?
Well, hearing earlier the questions, I like blue. Red was what I was going to say.
Just my skin tone. I just have not worn enough sunscreen in my life. Blue.
Blue.
Red
okay.
makes you look kind of crazy.
As we've talked about, the blue teams basically are the winners the past 20 years in the tournament. So if you're picking your bracket that way, go with blue. If you want to look good in red, go for it.
No. Okay.
The Masters or March Madness?
So this is kind of more of the sports theme, this or that. I love this. To me, it's March Madness, but you cannot beat Sunday at the Masters. That's hard to beat.
True.
March Madness.
And I'd say March Madness too, although I do like the Masters, and I've watched it because, you know, I like to think that I'm a player, but I'm not. I just like the clothes.
Let's back the truck up. Is this Jim Nance's last year
It's
for March
his
Madness?
last year doing March Madness, so he'll stay on with the Masters. But it's his last year doing March Madness. The fun part is the championship game for the men's tournament is that Monday of Masters week. So we're going to have a lot going on that week.
A lot of Jim.
Yes.
All right, have you learned anything about us based on what we've answered?
I've learned that you would be a lot of fun to go watch a game with at home.
At home. In our mascot outfits. That's a little disturbing.
How about this one last question? I want to get to this. I don't want to skip because we're out of time. Big 12 or SEC? This is loaded.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Big 12. I mean, just...
The original.
It's the way it should be. Actually, that's the Big 8, right? Back in the day. I mean, let's go real old school.
Yeah, Big 12. Big 12 for me.
Okay, well, I appreciate you got to stick with the original. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. We'll see how that SEC transition for OU and Texas happens moving forward in 2024.
I like the question we didn't get to, and we'll bring in Steven Narens at this point. Candy or popcorn? Why not both?
Yeah, that's the answer.
Candy all the way.
That's the answer. Why not both? Although if I had to pick one, probably candy.
You know you want candy.
Yeah.
You want candy. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Thank you.